This episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast is brought to you by Karen Leslie, your WP fairy godmother. Don't let any WordPress tech trouble stop you from showing up online and having an online home worthy of sharing. Whether it's just a few little tweaks or a complete makeover, get the support you need to get your WordPress website doing a brilliant job for your business, because that's what you deserve. Find out more at KarenLeslieWPFG.com. The link is in the show notes.
Whether you've been in business for years or you're just getting started, I'm sure that you would love to get more referrals in your business. Referrals can make a huge difference to the bottom line of your business. When you're first starting out, they can be one of the most critical sources of new leads and clients. But do you actually have a strategy on how to improve the rate of referrals that you get? Well, if you're interested to know what my favorite referral strategy is, that is what I'm sharing with you in this episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 535, which means you can find all the relevant links and the show notes for today's episode over at tashcorbin.com/535. So I'm going to share with you my favorite referral strategy. This is mostly designed around one-to-one service businesses, mentoring, coaching, healers, session-based businesses as well. But with a little tweak and change, it can be applied to more product-based or scalable business models as well. But if you in particular would like to get more VIP one-to-one clients, more packages sold, working with clients one-on-one directly, you're going to want to listen to this episode and potentially steal my favorite referral strategy. So let's dive in. Hello, I'm Tash Corbin, a business strategist and mentor based on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. The mission of this podcast is to help heart-centered entrepreneurs to make more money, and in doing so, change the world for the better. This podcast was recorded on the lands of the Gubbi Gubbi and Jinnaburra people. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. All right, so let's start by understanding why referrals can be so powerful and why they are becoming even more important for online business owners in this current climate. So we are now seeing with the rise of AI, with the rise of bots, that we are also seeing a rise on fake reviews, fake recommendations. There's even entirely fake Reddit threads that have been created to imply that certain providers are more trustworthy than others, to discredit other providers. Like, there's so much going on. Now, when I first started my business, this was also a thing. People could pay on Fiverr to get 100 reviews on their products and services on their websites. And I think the going rate back in 2012, 2013 was about $100 for 100 reviews, right? And so people are fairly mistrusting or fairly skeptical about reading reviews and recommendations from strangers online. And when things like Reddit and TripAdvisor and those sorts of things started, at first it was a trustworthy source, but just like everything online, people ruin it, right? And they ruin it for individualistic gain. And this is no different. So because of that, these days, people are far more likely to ask people they already know for recommendations. Or if someone out of the blue makes a recommendation to us and it's a trusted person in our orbit, not just a random stranger on the internet, people are far more likely to trust it. They're more likely to believe the referral. So in essence, referrals fast track conversion. They fast track someone becoming a lead, someone joining your mailing list, but importantly, fast track someone paying you, someone signing up to be your client. And the reason for this is because it fast tracks one of the most critical decision-making pieces when it comes to buying, and that is KLTC. It's a common term in marketing and sales is KLT, which is know, like, and trust. Do I know you? Do I like you? Do I trust you? In online business, we extend that into KLTC, connection. So do I know you, like you, trust you, and I connected to you? And because a referral is a 1 degree of separation, right? It's my friend is working with you, so therefore I am connected to you through my friend. That fast tracks the extent to which people know you, like you, trust you, and feel connected to you. Therefore, referrals improve conversion rates and increase conversions. And in essence, it often accelerates that development of KLTC and therefore accelerates conversion into a paying client. So because of all of that, referrals can be referred to as like the lifeblood of sales in your business. Referrals are a recession-proof business strategy. So knowing that referrals are so quick to fast track conversion, knowing that referrals have so much impact on the sales you make in your business. I remember when I first started my business, a huge portion of my early clients came from referrals. And so like knowing that referrals are so critical, why do we not have referral strategies in our businesses? Why is it that people aren't giving it the energy and attention that it might need in order to proliferate and do its job? How do we encourage people to refer their friends and networks to us? Well, some of the reasons why people might not focus on getting more referrals as their strategy can be that it feels like something we can't control, right? We can't force someone who's working with us to send their friends our way. And so I do see people from time to time where they like give a little nudge here and there, or they say, I'm focused on delivering a brilliant service to my clients, which I absolutely love and adore. Yes, I'm focused on delivering a brilliant service to my clients, but beyond that, there's nothing I can do to get more referrals. And that's not actually true. Yeah. There are lots of strategies we can use in order to encourage and improve the rates at which we get referrals, but some strategies are better than others, especially if you're in early stages of business. The other space that I see people do it is they'll sometimes put it in a newsletter or they'll pop it on socials. Like if you know someone who might like to benefit from this or you think might benefit from this, send it their way. Or if you know someone who should hear about this, tag them in the comments. Yeah. And I do think that that's lovely, like a little nudge here and there, a little seed planted. But is there actually anything more we can do? Yes. And so I wanted to talk about my favorite referral strategy because I think people get so caught up in either I just leave it to my clients or I just do the things I can, but there's nothing else I can do, or they get so fixated on trying to control referrals that the strategy they get fixated on is paying people for referrals. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that paying people for referring clients through to you is often the fastest way to dry up new referrals, because then people feel like they need to disclose to their friends, oh, by the way, if you do work with them, I'll get some money. And that actually is a legal requirement in some countries. But also then people start to overthink it. Am I referring people through to that person because I actually believe in their service, or am I just doing it for the money? And I've even seen a terrible but very prolific person, business, it was a joint venture business, where they charged $15,000 for their service. And I had clients who had worked with them, and it was a terrible service. They absolutely hated it. The experience was terrible. The results were terrible. They then had to hire me to fix it and to help them recover. But because that business offered a 50% referral fee for new customers, so they would get a $7,500 payday if they referred any customers through to them, they would still refer people through to them. right? And think about the incongruence that just creates within you. And for a lot of people, they use it as a justification. Well, I wasted $15,000 and maybe my friends will actually get better results out of it. So if I just refer two people through to them who end up doing the program, I'll get my money back. And then that is like, I haven't actually had that loss. And so, you know, there are actually paid programs, referral programs out there where people are very like open with me behind the scenes that they actually don't believe on what they're referring people through to, which I just think is wild. But, you know, I'm neurodivergent and have a high justice drive. So I think I hold myself to some weird standards sometimes that don't apply, but I think that one's pretty black and white and obvious to me. So some people do get caught up in the wrong strategies. What I wanted to share with you, which is my favorite strategy, is something that I did a lot in the early days of my business. I still use this strategy from time to time here and there, but it's a very startup friendly strategy. It's a very early in business strategy, and it's a very early referral strategy or, first offering referral strategy that can be impactful immediately in your business. That strategy is an end of session gift. And what I mean by that is when I first started my business, I previously tried to give away free coaching sessions as a lead generation strategy. So I would go out on social media and into Facebook groups and I say, I'm offering 3 one-on-one business coaching sessions. It's an hour and there's no obligation to purchase at the end, but if there is something we want to do together at the end, we can. And so I would offer these free strategy sessions, business coaching sessions. I called them all sorts of different things and played with the different messaging. And I really struggled to give away free mentoring. Now, I wouldn't have that same struggle these days, but I did struggle with it at first in my business. Either people thought it was just going to be an hour-long sales call, or they didn't take it up at all. But even when I did get people booking them in, I would say it was about a 60% show-up rate, maybe 70% show-up rate. So 30% of people who booked in these free mentoring sessions with me never showed up for them. And then I also noticed that a lot of people who I did these free sessions with weren't fully on board. They weren't fully invested in doing the session with me, and not like, oh, they didn't shop and do the work. No, more that like they were a bit standoffish. I even had people who started their free session with me saying, I'm not buying anything from you. I'm just here for the free coaching. So please don't do the sales pitch bit at the end. And it just felt like a really awkward and uncomfortable way to start a relationship. But I was more than willing to give away free coaching and mentoring sessions because, number one, I really wanted to get lots of practice at doing them and get to know lots and lots of different businesses and where people were getting stuck and different personality types and how I would support them through the process and build out a strategy they'd be excited to implement. But also I saw it as a very viable lead generation strategy, right? Like if I could get 10 people onto free coaching calls with me, at that point in time, if they turned up to the call, it was a 50-50 chance of whether they bought something else from me or not. Like it was a really high converting strategy. So I was more than willing to do free sessions for people, but I found that if I offered them publicly, people were very hesitant to take them up. And the people signing up for them weren't necessarily a good fit, or we had this standoffish, awkward start to our relationship, or there was just a lot of mistrust around them. And I started my business in 2013. I think that those giving away free sessions really was popular in 2011, 2012. And a lot of people had been burned by free sessions as well. And so therefore, there was just that real like arm's length distance and people didn't trust them. But so what I started doing was I started charging for one-on-one sessions, like an initial session, but I did it as like a 2-hour session and it was at a very, very discounted price. And I found that far easier to actually get people to take them up. People showed up ready to do the work and like really excited, and they told me all the information that I asked them. Like, in free sessions, I might say to people, well, how much did you earn from your business in the last few months? Like, I'm not going to tell you because then you'll use that to price what you sell to me at the end. And it's like, well, I can't help you if I don't have all the information to hand. And I genuinely needed that information in order to be able to give good advice to people, but they weren't always willing to share it if the session was free. And so I saw that kind of challenge and I decided to start experimenting with paying clients at the end of their first or second session with me. I would say to them, as a paying client, you actually get the opportunity to gift a free session to up to 3 people. So because people love to gift things to their friends, especially when it's special or it's limited or it's invitation only, right? It's genuinely something that is limited. And because the person who I was giving the free sessions to was actually giving them away to someone else, right? But it was strictly limited to 3 spots that they could give away. But also because it was at the end of their first or second session, we often had huge insights in those first sessions. We were in that real excitement window of working together, people loved it, right? My clients loved it. They were so excited to find out that they actually had something very valuable they could gift to a friend. And because in those early stages of us working together, we had really early insights. Often in my work, within 1 or 2 sessions, people had seen huge changes. There were often quick wins that I would be able to help them to tap into in their business. So people had only just worked with me for 1 or 2 sessions and already they had fabulous results or a fabulous experience they wanted to pass on to their friends. And also in the first 1 or 2 sessions, people were far more likely to be doing their homework in those sessions, right? It's usually about session 5 or 6 that people would get themselves into either resistance or maybe they had a little bit of fatigue around consistency around something, right? So rather than waiting to the end of our time together, I made this offer to them at the start of our time together, but after they'd done at least 1 session with me. And there's no financial reward for them if the person then goes on to become a client. There's no payment involved. There's no money changing hands around this. Because of that, what I found was people weren't blocked about gifting it. And it was, in essence, a recommendation. It was a referral, but it was a referral in which the person got to take up a free session with me, which was something I had previously offered to the public anyway. But because it was offered in this very specific, very limited way, and because it was coming not directly from me, but from a friend of theirs or someone in their network, people really trusted it. And so I was then doing free sessions with people again, but the free sessions I was doing, they were fully showing up to it. They were giving me the information that we needed in order to actually do the session well together. And they were less likely to have that kind of standoffish relationship with me. And so those referrals were super high converting, 80% plus converting into them ending up buying the same package that their friend had or converting into further work of some nature. But it wasn't also pressured because it wasn't a pure pitch, right? It wasn't like their friend had to tell them exactly what my work was and what my offer was and overcome their objections for me. I'm the best person to sell my work, right? I'm the best salesperson for every single lead in my business, because if I leave it up to my clients to actually do the entire sales process and that person doesn't end up buying from me, how do I know? I don't even get to know that they were potentially a lead. And also, my clients aren't necessarily the best salesperson, right? It certainly feels like they would be the easiest salesperson because I don't have to do anything. But I found that I also have had clients over the years who's I keep trying to tell my friend that they need to come and work with you, but they just won't. And so this is a way for me to solve that. So if I do have people even now who say that to me, if I'm looking to expand my lead generation, if I've got capacity to take on new clients, I will say, well, why don't you let them know I'm happy to gift them a free session, but only if they come through you. And so tell them to send me an email that you sent them and that you had a free session to gift them, and I'll give them a free session, and then maybe that will help, right? And I mean, most of the time I'd just do the free session anyway, because I just love getting involved in people's businesses. I mean, if I didn't have limited capacity, I would just do free business mentoring and coaching for everyone. Like, honestly, I just love this work so much. Like, the process of doing the work itself is so joyful. It's so my zone of genius. It's so energizing. Like, I would probably just do it for free anyway. But because it's an ability for me to showcase my skills and actually help the person, as well as ask my qualifying questions and present a pitch if that is something that I, end up deciding they have, answered the qualifying questions in such a way that I see that there is some excitement and I see there is some potential of what I can offer them, then I get to deliver wholeheartedly and fully and no holding back in the session. Plus, I have far more insight into the qualifying questions I need to ask. Plus, because they've come through a referral, they're far more likely to convert anyway. We've got that connection. We've got KLTC. Now, the thing I also loved about this strategy and why it is by far one of my favorite referral strategies is also because as I got busier, I started to reduce the number of sessions people could give away. So I would start saying to people at the end of their first session, by the way, as a VIP session now, a VIP client now, you have one free session that you can gift to a friend. All you need to do is just get them to email me and say that they are the person who's taking your free gifted session, and I will get them booked in and take care of them for you. And they'll get a full 1 hour mentoring session with me, absolutely free of charge. There's no hard sales pitch. There's no forced anything. It is a one-on-one mentoring session. If, of course, at the end, they're interested in hearing about how we can work together as a paid client relationship, of course, that is open and we can have that conversation. But if at any point I feel like they're not excited about that or it's not a fit for them, I will not even go there. So I want to reassure you that you know that I'm a consent-based marketer. There's not going to be this gross sort of thing at the end of it, or I'm just going to use it as a positioning call, right? Then that's often what some of those free giveaway sessions can be online, but I don't do it that way. I actually do it as a full-throated, wholehearted 1 hour delivery of a VIP session. And if at the end there's some excitement or interest in how we can keep working together, of course, I'll answer questions and I will do that qualifying and sales pitch. So that then allows me to manage how many referrals I'm getting through based on my capacity. And so it's not something where I've just thrown out a coupon code somewhere and people are still using it 6 years from now, even though I'm fully booked. It is something that I can keep some boundaries around. So the boundaries that I used to have around these were that they had until the end of our package together to gift them to their friends. So if someone had signed up for a 1 month package with me, they had until the end of that month to gift these sessions. If the person didn't claim it by date, it would no longer be valid. And also that it was limited to 3 people. And I didn't set up vouchers or gift certificates or anything. All I said was just tell your friends to email this email address and say that you sent them and they're using one of your free sessions, and I'll take care of the rest from there, right? So I made it really easy for them to gift them. I made it really easy for people to claim them, and I took responsibility for the heavy lifting and all the workload around it, right? And so because of the adjustability of that, it also meant if I'd had a little bit of a lull in my lead gen, I could actually just reach out to the 3 or 4 most recent clients to have started working with me who maybe I'd said they could gift 1 session and they'd done that. I could reach out to them and say, hey, I'm opening up some more space in my calendar. So I just wanted to let you know, if you wanted to send one more person through for a free session with me, I'm happy for you to gift a second session to someone. I also was very good at a thank you feedback loop. So if I did get someone come through on a free session, I always let my client know, usually on their call on their next session, hey, by the way, thank you so much for gifting that session to Jane. We had the most amazing time together. And she was a really good fit for the type of work that I do. And I'm really excited about what we covered. So you make sure you keep her accountable to doing her homework, okay? And so it created this really beautiful connected feeling. And it made the client who gifted the session feel really amazing. No money changed hands for that referral. So it cleans up some of the money block stuff. It cleans up the need to divulge anything or, give that caveat of I may receive a financial reward, blah, 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 blah. But it created so many referrals in my business. Yeah. Now, these days, I don't use this strategy as much, partly because I don't need to generate leads that way. And people refer their friends through to me without needing to gift them a free session. They'll often refer people through to grabbing some of my resources, or they'll tell people to listen to the podcast. And those resources and podcasts do a great job of building that relationship and moving people into my messaging ecosystem and my community. And so I don't need to rely on the kind of one-to-one model so much for lead generation these days. But I have, as I said, I have still gifted free sessions as recently as 4 or 5 months ago, where someone had said to me, oh my gosh, I really just want my friend XYZ to come and work with you. I think she needs this too. And I've just said, well, why don't you just tell her I'll gift her a free session? Send her an email, send her a message and say, hey, Tash has given me a free session to give away to anyone I want, and I want to give it to you. Here's what you need to do. Email her, tell her I sent you to take up my free session, and she'll take care of the rest. And that worked. It was about 4 months ago. I got a new client out of it, right? So even to this day, I do use it, but I don't use it as prolifically, because giving away free one-on-one sessions these days isn't necessarily aligned with capacity and what I need to do in terms of return on investment for me. So that is my favorite referral strategy. As I said, it's very new business or early stages of business friendly. It requires no system set up. It requires no money changing hands for those referrals. It doesn't require anything except you have one client. And one client can become 3 more clients simply by gifting that one client 3 sessions to gift to their friends. Now, I haven't gone into all of the different nuances of how to word things, or, there's just so many different micro components to this that might need to be refined based on your business model, the type of service that you offer, some of the limitations that you might have legally around referrals or gifting freebies and those sorts of things. But hopefully it's given you a little bit of inspiration to get more creative around how you generate new leads in your business, and particularly how you encourage referrals. Don't assume that people just need a nudge, and don't assume that people must be paid in order to refer people through to you, because as I said, in my experience, putting any dollar sign on that, any kind of financial reward on referrals, can often be the fastest way to dry them up. And I saw this when I twice tried to set up an affiliate program for my programs. That has been the times in my business when I've had the least amount of referrals and the least amount of people even just promoting my webinars or sharing my posts on socials that are promoting freebies or promoting my programs. And so, I do think that that like pay to play or being paid for affiliate stuff has quite limited scope and limited capacity to work, especially these days where people are very mistrusting of affiliate promotions and the extent to which someone is being financially rewarded for making recommendations. And this beautiful strategy doesn't need to involve any money changing hands, doesn't need to involve any of those kinds of things. If you do decide to try this strategy out and you want to give me an update or have any follow-up questions, be sure to reach out in the DMs or reply to any of my emails. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to come and check out the show notes at tashcorbin.com/535. We'll include a couple of helpful links there. And until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine. Bye for now.